dum dum shiny scalpel. Dum, gonna slice him up.
Why hello, fellow users of the tube. Today we talk about awareness of our surroundings and positioning, which are common concepts to every MMORPG, but the mechanics of Neverwinter have made it not only something that distinguishes an average player from an excellent player, but also a fun element of the game. First of all, let's start with a banality, which is the importance of staying alive. Dying is never efficient in this game. If you are facing content alone, dying means wasting a lot of time or having to use resources, if we have them, to take away injuries or resurrection sickness that weaken our character for several minutes. If we are facing contact in a group with other players, when we are dead we cannot tank, we cannot heal, we cannot DPS, and therefore we cannot help our teammates in any way. So survival is always the priority. Just a little tip, wear a potion of healing or a health stone if you have one on your belt. Using it at the right time will save your life and save you and your companions a lot of time by preventing death rather than facing the consequence of it. The second point of fundamental importance is related to not to losing control of our character. There are a whole series of abilities of the mobs and bosses of Neverwinter that partially or completely limit the possibility of freely using our character. For example, the character may find itself incapacitated, knocked down, frightened, charmed, and so on. Losing control of our character is a bit like dying for those seconds, because we can't tank, we can't heal others, we can't heal ourselves, and we can't DPS. In addition, we are very vulnerable to potential subsequent attacks that will occur in those seconds in which we are unable to react. Therefore, to pass from a temporary inability to an actual death of the character. Therefore, it is essential to avoid the attacks highlighted on the ground as red areas and any other animations that indicate an incoming spell or blow that will incapacitate our character. To do this, it can be useful to zoom out with the mouse wheel and also to use the FOV option to the maximum, which I find useful but also depends on the player's taste, in order to have a broader view of what is surrounding the character. One mechanic I love about Neverwinter is that almost all mobs have a melee frontal hit on their skill list, and the best thing is that once the hit animation starts, it will go in the direction it started from. The mob will not turn to hit our character if we have been clever enough to move in time to avoid intercepting the hit. So if we are in a solo play situation where we know it is more efficient to sustain the front hits of the mobs to continue damaging and killing them faster, then we can do it. Else, if this frontal damage is too much to sustain, it is more efficient to keep moving between hits to dodge these frontal attacks. Another characteristic mechanic of Neverwinter is the dodge or block skill, which on the computer is by default associated with the shift key of the keyboard. Each class and role has the use of the shift key available, which allows to have an additional way of surviving both attacks highlighted with red areas on the ground and frontal melee attacks, and therefore it becomes very important to know in detail what the ability of our class and role does by pressing shift, and learn how to use it with the right timing to dodge or parry the blow that we are about to receive. Keep in mind that sometimes the use of the shift key protects us from the portion of the ability that would incapacitate the character, but does not protect us from the damage. So it is up to us to understand when we can afford to receive the damage while avoiding getting incapacitated. Once we have given priority to survival and to maintaining control of our character, positioning is also important in terms of maximizing a feature of this game, which is the combat advantage. So if we position ourselves in order to have the mob or boss in the middle between our character and another player's character or our companion, we will have activated the combat advantage. This will increase the damage we inflict on our targets. The boss fights are the culmination of the mechanics explained so far, as making the mistakes of being hit by a red area that damages or incapacitates our character, or by the frontal blow of the boss, can affect the success of the whole fight. That's it! I hope you enjoyed the video or found it useful. Until next time, and may the RNG God be with you!